I quite like maps. Before I go away on a holiday with my wife, I make sure that we've got a map of the area that we're going to. I've got quite a collection of those orange Ordnance Survey maps covering quite a bit of Scotland. They make quite a nice souvenir, one that you buy even before you get to the destination. Maps are really important too, especially if you're out walking in somewhere like the Highlands. To make use of a map, you need to know, well, one, where you are now, two, where you want to go to, and three, the way between those two places. I've been caught out a few times. I assumed that there was a quick, short route between the two places, only to find that there was a railway line or a great big wall blocking the route. Sometimes, however, there are multiple routes, multiple different ways between the two places. When Jesus was talking to the disciples in the upper room, that is shortly before he died, before he went to the cross, he said to them this: "In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may be also. And where I go, you know, and the way you know." Now, Thomas, one of his disciples, was confused at this and replied to Jesus, "Lord, we do not know where you are going, and how can we know the way?" I guess Thomas knew where he was. He was in Israel, in Jerusalem, in the upper room of a house. But he might not have been quite paying attention. But Jesus had just told them where he was going. Jesus has said he was going to his Father's house. Jesus was going to be with his Father God in heaven. Now, amazingly, he wanted the disciples to be with him. Amazingly, he wants you and me to be with him there too. Why do I say that's amazing? Well, because we've broken God's laws. We've disobeyed his commandments. We've sinned against him. And we've done nothing to deserve being there. But by his love and by his grace, he wants us to be there with him in heaven. Now, maybe Thomas just couldn't think about that. I think he might have been assuming that Jesus was referring to going somewhere in Jerusalem or going somewhere in Israel. But Jesus was talking about going to heaven. Now, Thomas was also confused because Jesus had said, "The way you know." And so he was saying, well, what is the way? Well, the question that Thomas should have been asking was not, what is the way? But really, the question is this: who is the way? And the reply that came back from Jesus was this: "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." For you see, Thomas did know the way because he knew Jesus. Jesus was and is the way to go from a sinful earth to heaven with God and with his Father. What's more, he's the only way. Now, to be that way, he would die on the cross, paying the price of those sins with his precious blood. How do we get to heaven? What is the way to heaven? It is only by trusting in Jesus for the forgiveness of sins. He is the way, the only way.